So we are going to start this session with the speaker, Ahmed Hussein from Cairo University, Chimonics for Industry Company, Egypt. And this conference will be about clean tech innovation for sustainable mineralization where business with technology. So due to the delay in this program, about 15 minutes, so I ask you, Prof. Ahmed Hussein, if you can do this presentation in less than 30 minutes. So the floor is yours, please.
Go ahead, Dr. Ahmed. Can you start? Please share again presentation. Yes, go ahead.
I will be speaking in English. I will be presenting English. Let me introduce myself quickly. This is Dr. Ahmed Hussein. I work as an associate professor in the Faculty of Engineering at Cairo University and also an adjunct professor at the University of Toronto. I also manage the eco-chemistry department in Chimonics, Egypt. And perhaps that's part of what shapes my talk to you today. I am of energy material. I work a lot in TFT, density functional theory, and electromagnetic modeling of applications in energy and energy storage, electric vehicles, and wind energy. In consultancy experience, I've been working in 11 different countries, mainly serving the clean tech market sector, working with the private sector in Chimonics, Egypt, which is a regional consultancy firm. And perhaps that's what will shape my talk to you today, where the private market and research can meet, and how R&D can help the market. We always hear in the MENA region that academia is isolated from the market itself, and we would like to investigate in the case of clean technologies, if that's the case, or if there are opportunities. First of all, clean technologies is a major market opportunity in the MENA region. You know, most of the countries in the region are run out of water, energy, and material. It requires highly innovative innovation in the business models and the technology and adapting it to the local context. A big part of the success of private business in these industries is the capacity to adapt the technology to the local condition. A lot of these technologies also can be deployed on a small scale. This definitely gives more space for innovation. Also higher chance for success of startups and innovative companies that start from scratch. Basically, to answer the question if R&D can help the clean tech markets in the MENA region, we have to take a step back and realize that when we discuss R&D and we look at the spectrum of the two dimensions, you see where research is on the vertical axis and development is on the horizontal axis. There are applications and the cases in the MENA region, we would like to work more towards technology development. So pure research or fundamental research can be less applicable. But in all cases, whether we are in the right side of the quadrant, this is where we can add to the market. In the MENA region, companies and the private market does not have the capacity to fund research that does not turn completely to business. So while we can keep part of our research as fundamental research, that's what I personally do. I have my publications that are more about theoretical and physics, where there are no private market applications. But to serve the market, we have to shift a little bit, perhaps from a very sophisticated research activities to ones that are related to technology development. So if you are a researcher and you also, along with theoretical or less applicable research, you would like to pick up topics that help the market, here is a small recipe that can help us find the areas where the market in the MENA region can benefit from technology development and research. First of all, it is usually very good to follow areas where the local needs meet international best practices or, let's say, international trends. So the application could be different, but the development itself could be similar. So now, for instance, if you try to start research related to internal combustion engines, the MENA region has a less of know-how on that, and the market has evolved beyond that, and the industry is established worldwide. But if you go to electric vehicles, the technology is still under development. This is where you need to be. Also try to pick technology trends that are important for the world, but also the region. So energy storage, for instance. Usually, when we try to focus on less expensive material or less expensive applications, that usually has a bigger chance of being applied in the MENA region. So, for example, nanotechnology has certain class of application where systems and material can be less expensive, and hence it has a higher chance of being applied in the MENA and academic experience. What could be the hot research topic from my point of view that could add value from a research perspective, but also serve the markets in the MENA region in the topics of water, energy, and food. First of all, for sustainable food and agriculture, the MENA has high consumption per capita, and as you know, it's a net importer of food. The trends that are important for the market are high value added produce, integrated services, healthy and traditional foods. Drying and cold storage are very critical technologies because of the big loss and the seasonality. Smart agriculture is another important topic. Development of resilient seeds which can stand climatic changes. This gives few research topics that really can be of great impact on the market. Let me explore them with you a little bit. Solar drying is a very important application. We have seen some of the talks today. Solar drying is very important to valorize the produce. Most of a big amount of the produce in the energy and agriculture produce gets spoiled or lost. And even if it's exported or dried, it's dried in a very low quality manner, like our dates, for example, tomatoes, and so on. So solar drying is very critical, very important. It cuts down the cost. It also preserves, if done properly, the nutritious value of the food, and it has both local growing traditional markets and also healthy snacks markets. Another application which is very critical, the aromatic plants extracts. There is a big move towards green chemicals, or let's call them organic or biochemicals in the industry, whether that in pharmaceuticals, dyeing or food dyes, certain biochemicals that go in food production, like 15, for example, that imports a large amount of it. It can be extracted quite easily from, let's say, peel, mango peel, orange peel, citrus peel. The is huge producer of citrus. All these are high value added material. And if you look deeper in the region, you will find that we really do export this raw material. So we do export many different. You can really add big value to the industry. very critical. There is also a growing need for export of organic produce. Most farmers in the region rely heavily on chemical fertilizers, and shifting to biopest control mechanisms, whether it is based on high extracts, things like chitosan extraction, for example, from shrimp fuel. This has huge market potential. Sustainable cooling and cold storage are also very critical. Here, energy intersects with food. These also smart agriculture where digital data from weather patterns are used to advise farmers. The very nice company in Morocco that works on this. Other companies also are starting to work on this area. These are areas where the research can really lead to impact on the market and business. If we go to sustainable energy, the market trends, first of all, the market in the MENA exceeds $250 billion USD, huge market. There is an increased awareness and drive to save energy costs and use renewable energy. There is need for the integrated solution and local manufacturing. Of course, here really there are large mega-scale plants, utility scale. These mainly do not benefit from large research and development projects. They rely on international companies with established experience. Now, on the off-grid small scale and the off-grid, there are many opportunities for researchers. Something like solar thermal, solar irrigation, biogas, given that the is most of the region is a net importer of energy, this becomes very critical. There is some applications where research can also benefit the market very strongly. First, effective integration of PV and standalone products. So, for example, solar irrigation, integrating PV system with solar irrigation, optimizing how the system operates both on the water side and PV side can be an important research topic, but also benefit the market. Small scale wind, this is going to become a very hot topic in the region, whether for houses or resorts or farms. Hybrid integration of solar energy has been applied in the region. We start to realize that inverters in the market cannot most of the time operate as planned and withstand the high temperatures, the sand and the hot conditions in the desert. This is maybe not a very common topic to talk about, but in my consultancy experience, where we do long tracking for solar systems in the region, we realize inverters need a bit of development on the thermal aspects particularly. Energy storage is another hot topic, particularly storage on graphene-based material. Optimization of energy storage, where you integrate supercapacitors with batteries. All these are hot topics both in research and to benefit the market quite strong. Another topic, which is energy harvesting, where to power sensors or to power small devices. This is through electromechanical harvesting, as you see here in the middle, for example, harvesting vibrations from railways to power safety systems and sensors. The very critical topic, energy harvesting using piezoelectric or magnetostricted material, thermal energy recovery, induction, heat exchangers. These are all topics where there is a lot of research. The world has not yet developed these technologies to the optimal or these systems to the optimal, and they are quite easy to apply. Another topic which is very critical in the MENA and it's related to waste management is waste to energy. Here we have summarized some of the critical waste to energy technologies, pellets and biofuel, plant-based biofuels from plants like Jojoba or Jojoba and other desert plants that really can give very impactful fuel-based products. Biodiesel from waste oil, rejected fuel steel, which changes municipal waste into thermal energy units, pyrolysis, which change plastic styles into oils that can be similar to diesel and azote, gasification, biogas, and also the production of the machinery that produces all this. There is a lot of research to be done there. There is a potential for innovation, and there are companies in the market that you are interested to know about them that are doing that and can benefit from research. Now we go to sustainable water. Needless to say, decentralization and automation. Technologies such as drip irrigation, automation of water systems, simulated drilling, aquaponic desalination, and also the intersection of water and energy. There is major work to be done in effective integration of solar power with efficient irrigation system. Also, solar power desalination, whether from heat recovery, waste heat in power plants, or in certain chilled air water systems where you can use the heat for desalination, smart material and filters, which is really the core of the reverse osmosis desalination. All these are very critical topics for both research and practice. I'll stop here. I plan to not to take too long since I realized we are going to bring the link, but I would like to leave a space for questions and discussions if needed. What I want to say is that in this area of water, energy, and food, there is, if we focus and tune our research in the best way possible, we can really contribute academically, but also help the market, help the communities, and really make money out of it. So that's not everything that is possible to do where there is intersection of research and development and the market, but at least from my experience, these are key areas that I have seen in the last few years. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. Ahmed. Now on to the question. Yes, if there are some questions to ask. Do you hear me? Mr. Ahmed, do you hear me? So I have a question about the waste. You say that the waste to energy. It's not beneficial for the waste to energy. To energy. So in the sense that we waste, we use it then to have thermal energy. It's not beneficial to use this waste for other purpose. For example, in
I could not hear very well, but I think the question is about the waste energy and about biodiesel, was it?
You hear me, please?
Yes.
When you talk about the waste to energy, I understand that you mean that we can use this waste to have thermal energy. So it's not beneficial to investigate for this waste, to valorize them in other field, for example, in building sector, instead of burning them, and then we have CO2 and.
Yes, it's sort of the waste problem, it's sort of the waste, the problems we have with waste, and also energy. So each of these technology can take a certain material and change it to a certain type of energy. So for example, pyrolysis is a very good technology to take mixed waste that has a lot of plastics and tires, and it generates fuel that is like diesel and mazout, and we can use it in engines. Gasification, for example, and take mixed type of waste as well and change it into something similar to natural gas, same like biogas. Basically takes agricultural waste and change it into fuel that is very similar to coal but less polluting. All these technologies are very suitable for the markets with the subsidy being removed in most of the North Africa countries. For example, a lot of the brick factories or cement factories or even steel factories or cars and some engines can benefit from these technologies.
Okay, thank you. There is a question, please. Welcome.
Correct, Professor, thank you very much. My question is about the balance between will we find some way, some technology to integrate waste inside the new agri waste. So basically the dilemma here is whether we should limit the invention of new technologies which encourage new companies to be there and produce new waste, or actually encourage these technologies and try to find a balance between the two. My question is, where is your position between this? Are you encouraging new companies and new technologies, or actually it's more harmful than it's beneficial for the ecosystem? Thank you.
We can start by watching the system and manufacturing part of it. So I would say start slowly with the sophisticated technology and move up the ladder.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmed, for this information. Now we move to another question.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmed, about your presentation. I want to question in the environment how to use this technique to prevent or to have some feature realization in the environment. Thank you.
I couldn't hear very well. Can you repeat, please?
Is about the application of DFT on production in agricultural field.
Yes, the very interesting part about DFT functional theory is that you can really simulate material behavior from bottom up. You can really simulate how the atoms and you don't need to make any assumptions. You are basically starting from the Schrödinger equation up. And this is very good in explaining things that we cannot explain, but so in designing material. Instead of going to the lab and testing any material, you can really have simulations that shows you how material can behave. And you can shape this material on the computer. And this is a computer-based experiment. It works together with the experiment. So with a computer, you can look at the behavior of numerous material, make a small set that is processing and testing. The other part, whenever there is difficulty in interfaces, for example, this is very difficult to model using classical theory or understand rules. In a battery, once you have the acid coming close to the electrode, this area is very tricky. It is a mix between a fluid and a solid. And you cannot model it quite well. When material changes from insulate to a conductor, this is very difficult to model classical theory and experiment. But seeing the quantum mechanical simulation, you have to understand what happened and really be able to adapt it and change it and and develop new material. So I can share with Dr. Faisal slides about this that he can share with you, but it's very, very powerful. In my work, I've been able to contribute as much as I can to battery design and of polymer behavior just by looking at the atoms instead of using classical theory or just
busy conference. So we hope next time to accept our invitation to participate in this event or other events. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now we move to another presentation or conference. This conference will be given by Dr. Tara Faris, from Senior Program Manager from Jordan. This conference will be about role of youth in green growth phase of Jordan. The floor is yours, please.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me, Dr. Faisal?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you both also to you, Dr. Faisal, for your kind invitation. I hope we can get soon together after 2017. As you know that my presentation is more on the community level. It's more on the citizens level. Maybe it's different, but I hope that it is as interesting as the previous presentations on the research and on the business part of the water and energy. So,
can you please share your presentation with us?
yes, share it on your the screen, or you want me to send it back on Facebook? Yes. Okay. Yes. A minute, please. Oops. Okay. Well, I will proceed now. Okay, thank you very much. Well, my presentation is on the role of women in green growth, the case study.
You can please click on full screen.
Okay, this is my full screen. So, this is as part of the project Empowering Women for Leadership Roles in the MENA region. It's a project funded by Global Affairs Canada, and it's financed by the Canadian-based organization, the Forum of Federation. Well, I want to introduce myself. I'm the country director of the Forum of Federations in Jordan. I graduated from McGill University in Canada with a postgraduate degree in agriculture and environmental studies. My master and PhD was on the relative salinity tolerance of potato cultivars. Currently, I work for funded projects, previously the EU, and now I work for the Global Affairs Canada projects in Jordan. Well, to start with, the context of the issue in Jordan is that limit their coping capacity. This emphasizes the needs for gender-sensitive responses to climate change. This is quoting the UN. Also, biodiversity is being lost, and climate change is a dominant factor for that, and we have to maintain biodiversity in order to protect our environment and protect through adaptation and mitigation. Now, in Jordan, the people, they believe that we are safe from environmental effect because we don't have, big natural disasters like hurricanes or let's say a volcano erupting. But however, there is a long-term effect of climate change that will be felt through gradual environmental degradation, as quoting activists in Jordan. Furthermore, the climate crisis affects women more than men because women they have a lot of caretaker responsibility, and most of the time these caretaking responsibilities are not paid. So this will affect the role in environmental leadership and innovation. For example, in Jordan, women spend 400 on household, while men only spend 80 minutes on the same task. Now, therefore, we believe that the sustainable and inclusive solutions, gender responsible approach are all required. We also believe that stakeholders must develop policies, but at the same time will not develop capacity building sessions to empower the climate change. We also believe that ministries must make their policies to be and plans to be simplified.
Sorry, please, sorry. Always we have the first slide. Always we see just the first slide. Can you please read it out and read it, please? Because the presentation is okay. Now it's okay, please. It's okay.
Pardon me, you need to stop presenting.
No, it's okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I think I need to share my screen again, right? Or can you still see the presentation?
No, please share it again.
Pardon me?
Can you share it again, please?
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
I'll share it from here. Yeah. Women relation to water in Jordan. As you know that in Jordan, water in many of the major cities is only delivered once a week. And it's even more difficult in the rural areas. And Jordan, as you know, is one of the most scarcest countries in the world in terms of water. And women spend a lot of time trying to save water for their domestic and productive household tasks, which take much of their time. And also floods, when it happens, in particular in the southern desert parts of Jordan, women suffer from the displacement due to the floods, in particular with their children. Now, in Jordan, the importance of gender and climate change is really clear by the fact that Jordan just launched a study on the gender equality in climate change by the Ministry of Political Parliamentary Affairs. At the same time, now Jordan has a project in terms of sensitive budgeting, and Ministry of Environment is part of this. We have also just had the local elections in Jordan, just like in Morocco, and now the councils are preparing for their local planning. So the project in our case is in Jordan. We are working in the north and the middle part, the rural parts and agricultural part of Jordan. So we launched a project to increase women participation in environmental decision making at the national and local levels as municipal and government council members in order to progress towards inclusive governance. So, what did we do in this project? First, we did a capacity building for female municipal and local council members. We started with the pilot in Jarrah governorate. It's a governorate in the middle of Jordan, and it's mainly there are forests and there are as well as agricultural land. So we build the capacity of women in environmental laws and regulations, international treaties that Jordan has signed. We gave them also capacity on environmental challenges, opportunities, environmental data collection, environmental impact assessment, green growth, and we also built their capacity how to include green growth in their local planning. Best practices. So we took them, for example, to the forests. We have a forest in Jarash called Gidbin, to show these women the effect of fire and the effect of theft on biodiversity and on the forest. We took them also to waste transfer stations. We took them to previous incinerator to demonstrate the absence of monitoring and evaluation. We took them to stations where there is recycling of waste. We took them to projects and solar panels for water companies and fish farms, rainwater harvesting. We tried our best to teach those women the best practices in the country and what's happening in terms of protecting the environment and resources. It was very important that these women also meet women activists in their town, to meet people, to meet citizens, and discuss the environmental challenges. So we supported also the town hall meetings, where there was discussion about the environmental issues in their town. Also, we conducted research, it's a social research on environmental leadership, women council members in the government and municipal councils. We found out in our research that women, they really know the international treaties very well, even at the local level. We found out that women have a very good understanding of the local environmental issues. And in addition, we saw them how they lobbied. They wanted an office of the Ministry of Environment in their governorate in order to report directly on environmental issues in their town, and sorry, in their governorate. But also we found out, as an unexpected result of this study, is that really women still face difficulties due to the negative community perspectives on their role as leaders. We also did a campaign, we call it She for Environment. It's a campaign, 1 month campaign that we conducted it by volunteerism. We had messages coming from the research, coming from the international treaties, from reports on gender gap, and the importance of women political participation and their role in leadership. And we tried to have a unified visual identity for this campaign. We invited women leaders in environment, whether they are in the ministries or they are working as technical engineers or they are activists, future leaders. We conducted, webinars to discuss the important role of women in environmental decision making. And we had quotes all online before the International Women's Day to emphasize the importance of women political participation in order to make a decision on the environmental sector. Also, the project had volunteerism online. We asked youth, men and women, to join for volunteering to spread the message of the importance of women role in environmental protection, and it was a very successful campaign, throughout the month. In addition to that, we made sure that we conduct national dialogues, including even women members of parliament, including council members, to discuss the Sustainable Development Goal, SDG 5, that is related to women, with SDG 13, that is related to environment, and trying to link the importance of women in environmental protection. We also supported women leadership in climate change. We supported young journalists who would like to write about women leadership in the same aspect and to produce videos. And we also made a program of mentorship. Young women who would like to be mentored by academics, by environmental activists to have a role in protecting the environment. North High School. During COVID, she had an initiative. She distributed transplants to houses so that they can start their project, help her in developing her type of work, her initiatives. The other lady on the left, she's Miss Inas Rassoua. She's from the Jordan Valley. She's a young member of, she's a young director of an NGO. She said that building her capacity really helped her in writing proposals for gender-sensitive environmental projects. She's now starting a local kitchen project and also a cloth recycling project in Europe. So, finally, I thank you for your patience and time listening to my presentation. I would like to emphasize that we have a role in decision making, and we have to build the capacity from this platform. I request that academia open the doors to women council members to learn the best practices so that they can have this part of their local council. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Farah. Thank you very much, Dr. Farah, for this presentation, which is rich in lots of information. So now we will move to the audience. If there is a question, please.
I have a question.
Dr. Faisal.
Thank you, Dr. Talab, for your presentation. If you have some problem on the presentation, and if you could send it later to share it with our attendants of the event. As I know you're active about your project. My question is about, as you involve the deciders in the project as a stakeholder, did you feel any impact, a real positive impact or change in the regulation as an output of this project?
So, just allow me to put my battery on the computer first, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, in terms of innovation, well, as you know, may I say that our project is mainly on building the capacity of women at political, social, and culture. So we have put into them the idea of having decision-making, a role in decision-making, and in order for these members to have innovation, as I said, I emphasize that we have to link them to academia. We have implemented projects done by private sector, by that's really innovative. But I think also we have to assist them to meet academia, to get the know-how in order to be able to include innovative projects in the planning. I hope I answered your question, Faisal.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, another question. Professor.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Dr. Tala, for this presentation. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you all for this project. It's challenging actually to combine both the SDGs 5 and 15 in such creative and practical way. And indeed, policy making becomes more effective with equal gender representation and more inclusion. So congratulations for that. My question is about after the project. Do you consider, as part of your goals, project goals, the duplicability of the project in other parts of the MENA region maybe? Do you have this vision, or actually it's limited to Jordan? Thank you.
Well, I should have explained, I thank you for your question, it's very important, thank you. But I should have mentioned earlier that our project is already a regional one. So I have a counterpart, she's the country director in Morocco, and she's also conducting a project on women empowerment in Morocco. Ms. Hayat Nibeli, she's also doing now work on women's role in water protection. That's if I can answer. We also have a project in Tunisia, but we hope that it will expand to other countries in the MENA region, as you have mentioned.
I think I missed that point, so thank you very much for the clarification.
Thank you, Dr. Tara, for this. Thank you again, Dr. Tara, for this important presentation, and thank you for participating in this event of JDC 2022. Thank you. Now we move to the presentation of PhD students. The first presentation will be given by Abdelaziz. Yassir Abdelaziz. The presentation will be about drying phosphate sludge by solar energy. You have 10 minutes to present your presentation. The floor is yours, Mr. Abdelaziz.
Bonjour, j'espère que vous allez bien. Je suis Yassir Abdelaziz, doctorant en troisième année. J'ai eu le plaisir de vous présenter devant vous une partie de mon travail sur le thème séchage solaire du niveau de la base de phosphate. Ce travail est réalisé dans le cadre d'un projet OCP à FOS, encadré par Mme Naïla Ouezani. Le plan est ce que je poursuis. On va commencer par l'introduction. Après, je vais faire une petite étude bibliographique. Après, matériel de méthode. Puis, résultat de discussion. Et enfin, conclusion. Donc, la gestion rationnelle. Pour l'OCP constitue une réelle problématique. C'est pour cela, ces résidus comme je dis, la gestion rationnelle de la base phosphate constitue une réelle problématique pour l'OCP à cause des volumes, des grands volumes rejetés dans l'environnement. Comme vous voyez ici, une photo qui représente des grandes quantités d'eau rejetées non didiques qui s'étendent sur des dizaines d'hectares et qui a une profondeur qui peut atteindre 50 mètres de profondeur. Dans ces situations, le séchage du niveau de la base phosphate sous serre constitue fait partie de la politique de développement durable et constitue une technique importante pour la gestion et le traitement de ces résidus. Donc, l'objectif de ce travail est de réduire la masse et le volume de ces bouts, minimiser le stockage et le coût de stockage et le transport, et valoriser ces résidus et en même temps minimiser l'influence sur l'environnement. Donc, dans la littérature, le séchoir à serre est utilisé principalement dans le séchage des produits agroalimentaires, par exemple les noix de coco, les piments, et aussi pour le séchage des bouts industriels, par exemple les bouts des stations d'exploration. Ces études montrent que l'utilisation des séchoirs à serre tout seul ou combiné avec une autre source de chaleur est plus efficace pour réduire le temps de séchage. Bon, dans notre cas, le pilote expérimental pour le séchage du de la phosphate, et comme vous voyez ici, on a qui concentre les rayons directs provenant du soleil vers la deuxième réflecteur. Ce deuxième réflecteur reflète les rayons solaires vers la façade de la lentille qui est remplie d'eau. Donc l'eau chauffe, pompée par la pompe vers le plancher chauffant pour le chauffer et pour accélérer le séchage à l'intérieur de la salle. Donc, dans les expériences qu'on a faites, on a comparé entre trois modes de séchage, le séchage à l'air libre, le séchage sous serre à convection forcée et le non combiné, et le séchage sous serre combiné au concentrateur par la bouche. Donc, dans ces expériences, nous avons mis 6 échantillons, nous avons mis 6 échantillons d'égouts, 3 à l'intérieur de la serre et 3 à l'air libre, dans les mêmes conditions. On met ces égouts dans des plaques galvanisées de 50 cm de largeur et 30 cm de longueur et 30 cm de largeur. Donc, la campagne expérimentale est faite dans la période chaude en mai, et pour la période froide, c'est en décembre. Donc, chaque expérience a commencé à 6 heures du matin, quand la teneur vraiment est 69%, plus ou moins 2%, et a fini quand la teneur vraiment est 5%. Comme vous voyez dans les photos, on a la phase initiale et la phase finale des produits. Pour ces expériences, on a choisi 3 épaisseurs, l'épaisseur de 0,5 cm, 1 cm et 1,5 cm. Donc, pour l'installation des équipements de mesure, on a installé 4 mini-détaleurs à l'intérieur de la serre pour mesurer la température et l'humidité à l'intérieur de la serre. Puis, si mon couple est placé en contact avec le plancher chauffant pour mesurer sa température, et un mini-détaleur est placé à l'extérieur de la serre pour mesurer, pour enregistrer la température de l'air ambiant. On voit ici les tutoriels des équipements installés à l'intérieur de la serre. On a 4 mini-détaleurs. Donc, on a quelques résultats représentatifs parce que je n'ai pas le temps pour présenter tout. Mais, comme vous voyez dans le premier graphe, le temps de séchage pour sécher les bouts à l'intérieur de la serre combinée prend juste 5 heures et demie, alors que dans la serre non combinée prend 11 heures. Pour le deuxième graphe, vous voyez que la vitesse de séchage peut atteindre 0,6 kg d'eau par kg de masse sèche dans le séchage combiné, et pour le séchage non combiné, il ne dépasse pas 0,36 kg d'eau par kg de masse sèche. Ici, on a comparé entre l'air libre et le séchage combiné. On a trouvé que pour les 3 épaisseurs, on a trouvé que le séchage le séchage à l'intérieur de la serre combinée, par exemple pour 0,5 cm, prend 6 heures par rapport à 10 heures à l'avril. Et aussi pour un épaisseur de 1,5 cm, il prend 12 heures dans la serre combinée, mais il prend 35 heures à l'avril. On a aussi comparé le séchage à l'air libre avec le séchage combiné, sur serre combinée, dans la période en décembre. On a trouvé que le séchage prend juste 5h30 à l'intérieur de la serre, mais il prend 75 heures à l'intérieur à l'air libre. C'est à peu près plus de 3 jours de séchage. Donc, pour conclure, la combinaison entre le séchage, la serre et le concentrateur cylindrique parabolique a permis de réduire le temps de séchage par la moitié par rapport à le séchage sur serre non combiné. Aussi, on a réduit le temps de séchage de 4 à 20 heures par rapport à l'air libre, à la saison chaude. Et on a réduit le temps de 70 heures en décembre si on compare par le séchage.
Merci pour cette présentation. Donc avant de passer la parole à Madame Edna Fatima pour continuer de modérer cette session, je tiens à vous signaler, chers audients, lorsque la discussion et les questions seront laissées à la fin de cette session. Je vous laisse la parole.
Merci, Monsieur Boukhati. J'invite Monsieur El Hesnaoui pour présenter son travail intitulé Étude des performances énergétiques d'un matériau biocomposite dans les conditions climatiques réelles de Marrakech. Monsieur El Hesnaoui, vous avez 10 minutes pour présenter l'essentiel de votre travail.
Merci, cher professeur. J'ai l'honneur de vous présenter mon travail intitulé Étude des performances énergétiques d'un matériau biocomposite dans les conditions climatiques réelles de Marrakech. Ce travail sera fait selon le plan suivant: une introduction, méthode, suivi de résultats de discussion, et je terminerai par une conclusion. Donc, l'utilisation des systèmes de climatisation de chauffage dans le secteur du bâtiment conduit à une forte consommation d'énergie dans ce secteur, allant jusqu'à 33,6% de la consommation totale de PIB. Par ailleurs, l'amélioration de l'enveloppe du bâtiment est devenue une nécessité afin de minimiser l'impact des conditions climatiques externes sur l'environnement interne du bâtiment, par l'intégration des pratiques éco-énergétiques et l'intégration des techniques passives. C'est dans ce contexte que se situe notre travail, afin d'évaluer le potentiel de rafraîchissement d'un bâtiment en utilisant un mortier renforcé avec des arêtes HELPA comme technique passive appliquée aux voitures, et de montrer l'importance d'utiliser ce type de matériel dans les bâtiments. Donc, comme le matériau utilisé, il s'agit d'un mélange du ciment, du sable, du fil HELPA et de l'eau potable de robinet. Les caractéristiques de ces composants, le ciment, vous savez, le CDG 35, les caractéristiques sont extraites dans la région de Boucher. Donc, ce matériau est composé de sable ciment avec un rapport massif de poids et un rapport massif au ciment de 0,75 avec une incorporation d'un pourcentage de 3,5 de GF. Donc, comme vous voyez dans cette image, c'est celui-là. Le protocole expérimental, nous avons travaillé sur des tests à l'échelle réduite, Donc, les caractéristiques suivantes, les touches droites, les parois verticales des portes sont isolées. Donc, nous avons travaillé sur deux syllétistes. La première est réservée comme référence avec le mortier traditionnel, alors que le toit de la deuxième est recouvert de 4 cm de notre matériau de composite. Donc, nous avons aussi travaillé, installé des systèmes de mesure sur les cellules, descendre pour mesurer les surfaces, les températures surfaciques des cellules de la toiture, un kilomètre pour mesurer les flux traversant la toiture, et aussi un détecteur pour mesurer la température à l'intérieur des cellules. À côté des cellules, il y a aussi une station météorologique pour enregistrer les données météorologiques à côté de ces cellules. Donc, dans ce travail, dans cette étude, nous avons effectué un monitoring pendant la période du 17 jusqu'à 20 juin 2022, dans le but d'étudier l'impact des conditions climatiques sur l'environnement interne de la cellule par l'utilisation des deux mortiers. Et donc, comme première figure, il s'agit de la variation de la température, des moyennes horaires de température mesurées dans les cellules avec des mortiers traditionnels. Comme vous voyez ici, un écart entre la surface extérieure et la surface intérieure du toiture, allant jusqu'à 10,37 degrés Celsius. Alors, pour la deuxième cellule, avec le matériau de composite, il y a ici un écart de 20,23 degrés Celsius. Donc, ici, nous avons la variation des moyennes horaires du flux de chaleur mesuré dans les cellules. Comme vous voyez en bleu, c'est la variation du flux enregistrée par la cellule de référence avec le mortier traditionnel, alors qu'en rouge, il s'agit de la variation de ce flux dans la cellule avec. Donc, cette figure montre les moyens de flux de chaleur mesurés dans les deux cellules, le mortier traditionnel et le mortier renforcé par l'écart. Comme vous voyez, un écart très important de presque de 20,76 de différence dans le flux traversant la toiture vers l'intérieur des cellules. Donc, qui montre l'importance d'utiliser ce type de matériel dans les toitures des cellules. Pour conclure, notre travail d'utilisation de mortiers renforcés par l'effet préva sur la dalle des cellules test a été évalué et sont liés sur la réduction du flux de chaleur traversant la dalle pendant la période de monitoring de Marrakech a été également étudiée. Cette étude montre que dans le climat semi-aride à Marrakech, la mise en œuvre d'un matériau de composite sur la dalle de la cellule test a un effet remarquable sur la réduction du flux de chaleur traversant la dalle allant jusqu'à 20,76% par rapport à un outil traditionnel. Et merci pour votre attention.
Merci, M. Ismaïl. Donc, j'invite M. Bachir Dain aussi pour présenter son travail intitulé Numerical Modeling of Thermal Energy Storage in Medium Fields with Variant Materials. Monsieur Dain, vous avez 10 minutes pour présenter bien sûr l'essentiel de votre travail.
numérique de stockage d'énergie thermique dans un environnement de matériaux permanents. Donc, notre présentation est composée d'une introduction au cycle automatique. Ensuite, on va expliquer le principe de charge et de décharge d'un système aéroplane pour établir des données théoriques afin de mobiliser notre système par un complexe. Et ensuite, on va voir le résultat de charge et de décharge et on va finir avec une conclusion et perspective. Dans un stockage thermodynamique sur la Terre, le cycle fondu qui est le fluide calculateur dans ce genre d'installation, il ne suffit pas d'aller des panneaux créés par exemple durant toute la journée, et stocker dans les tubes de stockage afin d'adapter à l'échangeur thermique un système de conversion thermique électrique durant la nuit. Donc, la première remarque aussi, ce genre de, on a un décalage entre la production et la consommation d'électricité, mais la remarque principale que le cycle fondu, le fluide calculateur utilisé dans cette installation a une température de solidification très élevée, supérieure à 100 degrés Celsius. Donc, afin de résoudre ce problème, donc, afin de résoudre ce problème, on va afin de résoudre ce problème, nous avons étudié la possibilité de remplacer le cycle fondu par les roches naturelles. Le fluide, notre fluide calculateur ici, l'air, qui est chauffé par une résistance, par exemple, par une résistance chauffante, afin de chauffer les roches ou les matériaux granuleux dans un lit de granuleux. Donc, le principe de charge, on a dit que le fluide est chauffé par une source de chaleur, et dans ce corps, dans cette image, l'air circule de haut vers le bas, pour céder sa température vers un matériau granuleux, à l'aide des modes de transfert de chaleur, surtout convection et convection, et nous avons négligé le mode de rayonnement. Donc, jusqu'à la température de l'équilibre, c'est-à-dire la température de l'air égale à la température de matériau granuleux. Pour le procédure de décharge, le même principe, mais cette fois, l'air froid circule de bas vers le haut pour récupérer la chaleur stockée dans les matériaux granuleux jusqu'à l'équilibre thermique. Mais cette fois, l'équilibre thermique a une température bas, la température de l'entrée de l'air chaud. Donc, les modèles thermocliniques qui existent dans la littérature sont basés sur la dérivée de la température de l'équation de chaleur adaptée avec chaque système. Donc, on a plusieurs termes, soit pour la phase fluide et la phase solide, c'est-à-dire le matériau granuleux, et fluide, c'est-à-dire l'air de notre cas. Et nous avons bien sûr les modes de transfert de chaleur entre fluide, solide et solide fluide. Et aussi les autres paramètres thermophysiques liés au fluide et au solide. Donc nous avons utilisé un code Python par la méthode de différence fine, schéma explicite. De la température initiale de solide égale à la température 0, et aussi la température d'entrée égale à la température de fluide à l'entrée de notre lit. Et aussi, on suppose que avant l'entrée de l'île, il n'y a pas de jet, donc il n'y a pas d'échange, et aussi à la sortie. Donc le schéma explicite, c'est un schéma stable à condition que le nombre de pics égale la vitesse de fluide, la vitesse de l'air, fois delta x et le poids de l'espace sur la diffusivité inférieure à 2. Et aussi le nombre de courants qui égale la diffusivité fois le poids de temps sur le poids de l'espace carré inférieur à 0,5. Donc nous avons trouvé que notre code est adapté, notre code soit mathématique et numérique, et adapté avec ce genre de systèmes thermocliniques. Et aussi, notre étude est confirmée par une expérience de M. Zanani. Malheureusement, nous échouons. Donc, pour conclure, le processus de stockage se fait à travers deux phase charge et phase de charge, mais on peut ajouter un autre phase de recours, surtout pour les applications de basse température, comme les applications de conditionnement de l'air. Afin de bien étudier ce système thermocline et batterie thermocline, il est nécessaire de tester le matériau de stockage, c'est-à-dire les propriétés thermophysiques, thermochimiques et thermomécaniques. Et aussi, il est nécessaire de réaliser un prototype réel pour avoir l'efficacité de ce genre de système électrique. Merci pour votre attention.
Merci, monsieur Abdel. Maintenant, dernière présentation intitulée Experimental Performance of Dissemination System based on Solar Energy Shaper Parabola sera présentée par mademoiselle Sheina Ashler. Sheina, vous avez donc 10 minutes, bien sûr, pour présenter l'essentiel de votre travail.
Bonjour, avant tout, je viens de remercier Madame Andri, Monsieur Faisal et toute la communauté d'organisation pour l'initiation d'organiser ce jour. Bon, je me présente, chez ma doctorante inscrite au laboratoire physique par Madame Fatima et Madame Saïda Bessi. Ma présentation aujourd'hui, c'est une partie de ma thèse. Elle est intitulée Experiment for Dissemination System Based on Solar Energy Shaper Parabola. Ma présentation, le plan de ma présentation est comme le suivant. Une petite introduction, description du matériel, résultats et discussion et une petite conclusion. Bon, l'eau et l'énergie sont des ressources vitales pour la population mondiale et sont exploitables par l'eau, ce qui pose plusieurs problèmes. Parmi ces problèmes, on a l'augmentation d'émissions de CO2, l'augmentation de la consommation, la pollution des ressources de l'eau et l'inégalité de la répartition d'énergie sur la planète. C'est pour cela plusieurs pays tournent vers les énergies renouvelables et aussi les dessalements. C'est pour minimiser la pollution de l'environnement. Premièrement, c'est quoi le dessalement? Le dessalement, c'est un procès pour produire de l'eau douce depuis l'eau saumâtre ou l'eau de mer. Il y a plusieurs systèmes qui sont le logement inverse, l'électrodialyse, multiflash, multi-effet, le vaporisation, le vapeur compression et l'humidification et déshumidification. Dans nos centres nationaux de recherche sur l'eau et l'environnement, on a un pilote d'osmose inverse LPV. C'est pour l'étude théorique. Et pour mon système, c'est du type humidification et déshumidification. Pour les énergies solaires, des énergies solaires, on a trois types d'exploration d'énergie solaire. On a photovoltaïque, le solaire thermique et le solaire thermodynamique. L'installation qu'on a, c'est de troisième type. C'est le premier type, c'est un parabole solaire chiffré, de type parabolique. On a aussi des centrales cérébro-paraboliques, des centrales à tour et freinées. Pour le matériel que j'ai travaillé avec, on a le parabole solaire chiffré pour une source de chaleur. Il se compose de deux réflecteurs. Premier réflecteur, c'est du support de 10 mètres carrés. Elle a un suivant qui est alimenté par une panneau photovoltaïque. Au milieu de notre parabole, on trouve un paramètre pour calculer les radiations de soleil à deuxième réflecteur, qui est au fond d'alambic. Le deuxième réflecteur se compose de 6 bandes d'aluminium et a aussi réflécté les rayons du premier réflecteur au fond d'alambic. L'alambic se compose de deux parties, le chapiteau et la clé publique. Il se compose d'une jauge pour connaître le volume à l'intérieur de l'alambic et un thermocouple pour savoir la température à l'entrée. Et au chapiteau, on trouve un indicateur de température et un indicateur de pression. Aussi, on a une conduite qui transmet la vapeur de alambic vers un condenseur qui est un condenseur de type A. C'est du diamètre de 250 mm et de hauteur de 350 mm. Le protocole de mise au commun, on a le rayonnement solaire, la température d'entrée et la sortie de condenseur, le débit de condensation, la conductivité et la température de condensation. Pour savoir c'est quoi l'effet de rayonnement solaire pour la production, on a travaillé pendant 2 jours. Le premier jour, c'était 17 salles. Le rayonnement solaire était à 800 watts sur mètre carré. On constate que la masse du condensat, le débit de condensat varie entre 5000 et 6000 grammes. Donc 5 ou 6 litres. Par contre, le jour le 28 le rayonnement solaire, c'est presque 900 mètres sur carré. Et le débit massif, c'est d'environ 7 litres et 8 litres. C'est pour cela qu'on a constaté que la variation du rayonnement solaire a un effet direct sur le débit massif. Pour la variation du volume initial dans la longue, on a choisi 3 jours pour qu'il a presque le même rayonnement solaire. Et on a changé le volume initial, un jour avec 15 litres, 20 litres, 30 litres. Après chaque jour, après un temps, on a première goutte. Le premier jour, c'est 55 minutes. Le deuxième jour, c'est avec son influencé d'une manière très grande. Pour le débit de condensat, on a trouvé que le débit de condensat a une variation sur la température du condensat. Mais pour le rendement, on n'a pas, pour le débit de l'eau qui est ici, on n'a pas de variation, une grande variation. Pour les résultats, on a calculé la conductivité de notre résultat. Pour l'initiation, on a entré l'eau d'ici, l'eau saumâtre avec une conductivité de vers 1050 mm et la sortie, on a trouvé 5,70. C'est une valeur qui est meilleure de l'eau potable, la mesure de conductivité dans l'eau potable. Et on a calculé le rendement massif. On a trouvé que le rendement massif de notre système est bien par rapport à des systèmes de distillation. C'est pour cela donc on a varié plusieurs paramètres pour savoir est-ce que ce système est fiable. On a trouvé qu'il est fiable et peut produire jusqu'à 7 litres ou 8 litres durant 3 heures. Et on peut, cette étude permettre d'avoir des innovations pour ce type de système. Et merci beaucoup.
Mademoiselle Chéma, s'il vous plaît. J'invite les autres doctorants s'il vous plaît, sur Ismaoui, Bachir et Yassir. Vous voyez, c'est ici. Chers participants, vous pouvez contraindre le temps, donc on va réserver maximum de questions pour chaque docteur. La question il faut qu'elle soit vraie, s'il vous plaît. De même, la réponse à la question, il faut qu'elle soit vraie. S'il y a des questions, s'il vous plaît. Il y a des questions. S'il n'y a pas de questions, on va clôturer cette session. Pas de questions? Merci pour votre
voilà, je me demande si pour le procédé à l'échelle en train de développer, est-ce que vous avez une idée sur le prix et les retombées de ce prix à l'échelle?
Donc, on a fait une petite étude économique. Pour le système 2, on a installé un grand système de séchage de 3,5 mètres de largeur, de longueur et 1,7 mètres d'ouverture. On a 4 systèmes de paraboliques. On a testé. On a fait une petite étude économique, on a trouvé que le retour d'investissement est 7 ans. C'est à peu près, c'est un retour d'investissement moyen.
D'accord, merci. Et pour notre procédé, est-ce qu'on n'avait pas compté dans l'utilisation d'autres procédés, on n'avait pas pris en considération l'effet et la corrosion due à la salinité des eaux?
On va le traiter après, mais pour le moment, on a juste savoir étudier les paramètres qui vont influencer et comment les minimiser pour cette partie. C'est ça. Mais on peut le faire pour une autre
Oui, concernant les doctorants des 4, normalement, pour chaque équipe, on fait une unité théorique ou bien une simulation. Est-ce que vous n'avez pas pensé à déjà préparer ou à écrire sur ce que vous avez en train de fabriquer ou bien de procéder, que ce soit par un plan d'expérience ou bien un logiciel qu'il faut vous donner ou bien qu'il faut vous minimiser les essais pour avoir un tel payload ou bien un tel procédé. Pour les essais, ils ont un objectif, chaque étudiant.
Donc, dans notre cas, on a utilisé plusieurs logiciels. On a utilisé le logiciel d'Indice pour trouver la forme de la selle plus convenable dans notre cas. On a trouvé que la forme de la selle, c'est la selle de deux doigts inclinés. Aussi, on a utilisé le logiciel Control Utilities pour dimensionner un deuxième prototype que j'ai présenté aujourd'hui, pour dimensionner ces cylindres paraboliques. C'est ça. On a utilisé deux logiciels, le Tensys et
Donc, bonsoir tout le monde. Donc, je me présente d'abord. Je suis Mustafa Mebeli, étudiant au master procédé d'analyse et contrôle qualité à la faculté pour les disciplines de doctorat. Donc, d'abord, merci pour les présentations.
Ma question, c'est pour M. Lesnaoui qui a travaillé sur un matériau biocomposite. Donc, ma question, tout à l'heure, je pense à une conception pour l'application industrielle de cette idée. Donc, vu que la nouvelle génération des toits maintenant, ils sont construits des briques. Les briques, elles sont vides. Donc, ma question, est-ce que ça serait utile de remplir ces briques avec ce matériau et avoir les mêmes résultats que ces que vous avez trouvés?
Pour la première question, je pense que la meilleure méthode de recherche, de traiter un sujet, de simuler, après de poser l'étude dans les conditions d'application, des conditions réelles. Mais parfois, on a des sujets qui ne sont expérimentaux pour eux. Donc, parfois, il n'y a pas de logiciel qui traite quelques problèmes. Pour mon cas, oui, la première phase de simuler, de modéliser par un code fréquent. La deuxième phase de choisir un matériau de stockage, c'est-à-dire d'étudier les propriétés thermophysiques, thermochimiques de matériaux de stockage pour choisir le meilleur matériau. Et par la suite, Inch'Allah, de poser, de réaliser un prototype de stockage de thermophysique.
Merci pour votre question. D'abord, notre matériau évidemment, ce n'est pas du béton. Donc, le matériau qu'on peut utiliser juste après les dalles, quand on met une dalle avec une ordi, on peut mettre notre matériau juste avant le carrelage par exemple. Comme ça, on peut minimiser l'impact des conditions climatiques sur l'environnement des bâtiments.
Une question? Madame, question?
Merci. Tout d'abord, je vous félicite pour l'excellent travail que vous avez présenté pour les énergies renouvelables, pour l'efficacité énergétique. Moi, j'ai juste une question. Quelles sont les difficultés que vous avez rencontrées lors de votre travail de recherche? Je ne vais pas poser de questions sur la recherche en elle-même, mais est-ce qu'il y a des difficultés? Est-ce qu'il y a des barrières? Est-ce que l'Indie ou pas?
Je pense que c'est la barrière de pluie qui est donc, le problème, c'est que c'est le retard de la commande pour les commandes d'équipements scientifiques. C'est ça le plus. C'est la plus. C'est ça pour mon sujet. On a, par exemple, il y a des équipements, on commande, par exemple, cette année, et l'équipement l'année prochaine. C'est ça le problème.
صراحة شنو واضحين كاين واحد ديناميكي سورتو في لي زاني الاخرين دومون دو ريشيرش جو بونس في المغرب مي صراحة نكونو صريحين لا ريزون هنا باقي الماتري باقي هنا إمكانيات باقي صراحة هذا واحد هو كبير ما بين الماتري يكون واضحين بهذا الشيء واللي بغى يدخل هذا المسار خصو يصور بزاف.
Merci pour cette question. Tout d'abord, pour travailler sur un matériau, par exemple, à l'échelle du laboratoire, ce n'est pas comme à l'échelle réelle. Tout d'abord, le matériau avec lequel j'ai travaillé, c'est un matériau de composite. Déjà étudié par une professeure, un matériau de composite avec des faits très rares. Donc, à l'échelle du laboratoire, c'est plus clair. Pas sur les conditions réelles, et d'autres paramètres simplement sur les résultats
éléments de financement. On n'a pas trouvé un projet pour intégrer. Le projet, il vise un but, un travail, des résultats qu'on peut faire dans la réalité. Et aussi le financement d'une bourse pour ça. Du côté recherche, le labo, on a tout. Du ma part, il y a tout dans le laboratoire. Seulement le financement, c'est ça le problème.
Merci Madame pour cette question pertinente et merci pour vos réponses à cette question. Merci pour les présentations que vous avez présentées. Merci Michel. Donc avant de revenir sur cette question, il y a une question. C'est la dernière question aussi. Pour cette question. C'est la dernière question. J'ai deux questions. Donc, je me présente, je suis étudiant en master spécialisé possible dans les écoles organisatrices à la faculté politique séminaire de Toronto. Donc, nous sommes très heureux d'être là. Donc, j'ai deux questions pour l'occupation de séchage solaire. Donc, est-ce que vous arriverez à valoriser ces mots? On peut utiliser ces mots dans la fertilisation ou quelque chose comme ça. Et la deuxième question, je veux savoir la composition exacte de ces mots. Je vous remercie.
Donc, comme j'ai dit, les objectifs de ce projet, c'est la valorisation de ces résidus. Donc, le principal axe pour la valorisation, c'est l'utilisation de ces résidus dans les matériaux de construction. Parce que ces bouts ont une conductivité très basse. C'est 0,3. Donc on peut l'utiliser comme isolant, on peut les mélanger avec d'autres matériaux. Donc, deuxième question, c'est la composition chimique, c'est la partie plus grande du matériau, c'est l'argile. C'est 43% de ces bouts.
Merci, chers participants. Donc, sans tarder, je vais passer tout de suite à la session 3. Cette session sera sur débat autour des projets recherche et développement. Donc, cette session sera animée par Dr Ashraf Zanat. Monsieur Ashraf, vous avez la parole.
Thank you very much. Please allow me to speak in English immediately, but for the Q&A session, please feel free to remove the language barrier. You can ask me in any language, French, Arabic, or English. I can reply in your language if you prefer. So, first of all, let me thank officers, fellow PhD candidates, also Professor for inviting me to be here amongst you. I'm very thrilled to be part of this session, this conference. Okay. Honestly, I'm no scientist, but I really appreciate that we can look at this topic of today from different angles and include a bit of entrepreneurship within the topic. So today is titled Sustainable Value Creation in SMEs, right? As an example of successful example of partnerships for the goals. So here let me break down this title so that we can know what context we're talking about. So first of all, we have sustainable from sustainability. So we'll be talking about sustainability today. Also value creation and how can we create value within sustainable context, business model. And we have this SMEs, which puts us in the context of entrepreneurship, which means we're talking about value creation within companies in sustainable business model. And of course, by within the SDGs, the most amazing, which is my favorite, SDG, the 71 partnerships for the goals, and talking about concepts around it. To put in the context, my work as a PhD candidate is about entrepreneurship, right? But also I am an instructor as part of Erasmus Mundus. I instruct youth in Europe from different countries. I help them how to develop an idea to a successful business model, right? Recently, I've been elected as the first ambassador. Besides my normal work, which I share with all the ambassadors from other countries, which is of course involving stakeholders, creating opportunities, creating engagement about opportunities for Moroccan students, especially PhD students here, create some opportunities of exchange, co-authorship, and all collaborations around research. I took a challenge for myself to combine my studies, which is entrepreneurship, and my part-time work, which is instructor about developing business models, to actually try to involve Moroccan PhD researchers in the entrepreneurial world and see if we can actually convince talents like the talents we saw all day today to work actually on their projects, and not as a PhD project, but actually as a startup, and create value. So here we come to the value in the title. Can they be entrepreneurs? So to break down this question, here is the biggest question. Why actually students don't create or don't go to entrepreneurship? Let's look at it from the opposite side. Why entrepreneurs actually are not interested in what we all have been saying today. If you go to someone who's an entrepreneur, who's not a scientist, and you say, look, I have a project, we have to spend on it $20,000, and boom, your startup, your company will be sustainable, will be a great startup, will be like, okay, if I invest $20,000, what am I doing in return? What's my ROE? If you say, well, there is not much ROE, but we are a great startup, they will say, no, thank you. Go back to your university. I don't need this. Okay. So this is the question which we want to break down. Basically, literature around this supports these people who are right if we see about entrepreneurship, because scholars' evidence shows negative impact on performance of sustainable-related activities, which means you as an entrepreneur, if you actually invest to make your startup green, there is scientific evidence that says that your startup will perform worse and not better, okay? However, several studies have shown that businesses are natural environments are actually demonstrating improvement in their corporate performance and competitiveness in the medium term. So it's true that if you invest to be in a startup, you will perform worse in the short term, but you will perform better in the long term. This is the key why many people do not go with that, because not everyone can see the long term. Not all entrepreneurs, especially startups or SMEs, can see actually the long term investment. So in this context, other approaches which are clear for everyone should be taken into account. Sustainability and environmental sustainability, right? So what if we ignore economic sustainability and focus on the two pillars? Actually, not focus on them as each one separated, but together as a concept. So ecological or environmental sustainability side is the challenge for entrepreneurs to be green, to consume the resources without compromising the resources for the next generations. Nowadays, in 2022, we don't talk about preserving resources, we are talking about regenerating resources, and I was really happy today to see that we are talking how to make out of waste, how to make energy out of waste, how to regenerate, we talk about circular economy, etc. The second aspect is social sustainability, and the concept here is how to take care care of all stakeholders around us, including us, customers, employees, investors, etc., how to create a social value for them, and it's not easy. So this puts us under this idea, which is the concept of socio-environmental value creation in the SMEs, which is a holistic vision, holistic vision, which includes or combines the three perspectives: the economic, social, and environmental. So basically, the practices we want to promote, and also I'm addressing now to all professors here. We actually want to encourage students, PhD students, not only to find a way how to create green practices, but also to how to create profitable green practices or socio-environmental practices, practices or projects that will both save energy or create energy, but also make some people benefit from it. It can be people who are going to employ, people who are going to do their work differently and improve their livelihoods every day, right? Okay. So the second aspect we have to take to look at today is that research on sustainable development in SMEs indicates from a review of the literature that SMEs and sustainability focus mainly on environmental dimensions. So we want actually in the research projects, and we'll be talking about different research projects in the next session, how to focus on these two other aspects, the social and environment and the economy. Environmental strategies, resources productivity, cost cutting, reducing waste output. We conclude from this that proactive environmental strategies improve corporate reputation and image and relations with clients, investors, local communities, etc. So the idea here is how can we take any of the projects we saw today, any of the gentlemen, and try to look at it from an entrepreneurial perspective, involve everyone around it, and make them believe in it, economically, environmentally, and socially. Because if we take just the front row, if I ask someone, why would you actually want this idea to be on the real world, some of you will say, well, I would like to see my kids have water, clean water. I would like to see my grandchildren have safe space, clean space. Some others will say, well, I don't want to see another economic crisis. For me, I don't care about next generations, I don't want to see the world. So my point is that each one of us looks at the problem or at the solution from a different perspective. What if we can create a way or business model that satisfies all the approaches, right? To do that, we have to understand how us managers look at this. If I am a manager of a company, how do I look at sustainability? Okay? Because hiring managers will not solve the problems. Understanding managers will actually help understand how we can invest them. First of all, we have to understand that SMEs differ from larger firms in terms of their engagement in social and environmental issues. Ladies and gentlemen, you know that the amount of waste generated by SMEs combined in the world is more than the big mega companies. Because when we talk about climate change and waste and everything, we think about Coca-Cola, Google, and all the big companies. Actually, they produce less waste, they harm the earth less than SMEs combined. So if we want a solution, we want to implement it on SMEs more than the others, right? They really have confined social and environmental policies. An SME, especially a small business, does not really care about the change of policies in the country as much as the big giant companies, okay? Finally, owner managers often have greater freedom of decision making, so they can make any decision, don't have to consult with their board members, etc. So they have more decision making freedom. Finally, the literature has identified several board types of motivators for pro-environmental engagement in business in general. So, in other words, what makes managers follow your vision and say, okay, you know what, I'm going to try to make my business green. First, compliance with legislation. Morocco decides to put, for example, extra taxes on startups that does not, I'm just saying for example, something. on startups that does not respect the environment. To comply with that, we are pushing the manager to take some decisions to change the bylaws, etc., to break on them. Stakeholders pressure, economic opportunities, and ethical or ecological motivations. Today, I'm not having a big solution to offer, but I'm actually trying to contribute to this conference by raising some questions for a fellow PhD candidate who can maybe find a link in it to relate to their projects, and maybe try to combine both great economy, and their scientific research. I will just go through the questions, and feel free to contact me. I can send you detailed questions, and you can collaborate over there if you want. How is sustainability implemented and managed? How does sustainability enhance intangible assets? How does sustainability improve corporate performance of the company? And finally, how can related contingency factors in relation to sustainability practices be classified related to positive scaling inside the company or territory in the region? Also, from another side, how do managers of environmentally proactive SMEs understand climate change? And here I can give you just a brief example. Last 2 weeks ago, I was in Catania, south of Italy, and I went to a farm. It's a farm which produces avocado for the whole Europe. It's the first producers, and they are actually in a region which suffers the most from climate change. They have the Etna volcano, and each change of the world temperature, the Etna. I wanted to drink a cup of water, and they said, stop, this water is not drinkable. Can you imagine someone telling me that the water supply in Europe, in heart of Europe, is not drinkable? We always think about the desert or some underdeveloped country where water is not clean, but inside of Italy there is a region which has a water problem, and it has to be imported from other cities to drink it because it's close to Etna. But the practices implemented by this company are really amazing. They respect in every practice, in every activity, they respect the green because they feel how hard it is and how dangerous it is to carry climate change. Also, the example of Savos, which we will see here, some just to inspire a little bit of what kind of practices we're talking about. Savos is a company also in Naples, in the south of Italy. They have a very good example of how a startup can be ecological and green and also create value. They create value in their branding strategies, and they try to use different kind of packaging, etc. And also on their ads, they promote themselves as a great startup, and it's real. They focus their research and development of innovation and creativity toward how to be more ecological. They enhance environmental sustainability by monitoring each of their supply chain, their production line. Everything should be according to the quality measures by the legislation and by their own bylaws. Just to give you an example, this company, Savos, does not buy from a supplier that is not within a 40 kilometers radius. So if you are further than 40 kilometers, we will not buy from you. And we search all the radius, and when we don't find a supplier, then they extend the radius, for example, to 100 kilometers, and so on and so on, just to reduce all the costs and the carbon, the CO2 and everything for the transportation, etc. That's just one tiny example of what they are doing. They also work on excellent customer relationship. They try to make the customers happy, but also aware why they are doing what they are doing, and involve them in the whole process. So the customers actually are proud that they are their customers. Also, with their suppliers, they pick their suppliers. Not anyone can be their supplier unless he respects what they respect, he believes in their values, and finally, they make the stuff professional and aware about what we should do. Thank you very much. I hope I was brief.
Thank you, Mr. Ashraf, for your inspiring presentation, and I want to thank you for the effort you be with us today and give us this how is customers could be intensify a green startup. So if there is any question for audience for Mr. Ashraf.
Hello. So first of all, my name is Luna Ahmed. I'm a student in Master of Analysis. Hello again. So first of all, I'm Luna Ahmed. I'm a student in Master of Analysis Processes and Quality Control. So firstly, I'm so happy for being here. I'm foreseeing this presentation. My question is, what are the challenges of sustainable values creation in Morocco? Thanks.
Okay, I will answer from my own experience as a market. Because honestly, I'm not expert in the Moroccan markets, and I haven't implemented many projects. I'm working currently in Europe, so I don't want to talk about something I'm not expert in. But what I think is a global issue, which Morocco shares with other countries, is the belief. So basically, it's hard to make entrepreneurs, startups believe in something called sustainability, while they are actually struggling with finance. So basically, it's really hard to get your seed fund, which is the first fund to start looking for developing a prototype if you have a startup in Morocco. The second thing, Morocco is among the countries which raises each year the lowest amount of funds every year. So we have a really big problem of access to finance. So just sharing this understanding. If you have a startup, if you have a project and you want to work on it, you have $10,000 to make it work. Would you make it invest it in your prototype, on finding customers, or would you go and try to be sustainable? Access to finance. If we have access to finance for startups as good as in Europe, for example, or the Middle East, I think it's truly easier to convince startups to look a little bit at sustainability and how can it be beneficial for them. Let me just add another thing. Another challenge is the lack of role models. It's really hard to find role models, big entrepreneurs who have big startups, which are great startups in Morocco, which you can look at, ask them to be your mentor and follow their steps. It's always a foggy, blurry step way, which you have to work alone. Let me just give you an example. It's just like asking you to do a PhD project without a supervisor. So that's the big challenge.
Any question else? Yes.
Thank you very much for your next presentation. I would like to ask you, for example, how to convince SMEs to be sustainable. Or, because in Morocco we have SMEs not caring about environmental issues, neither the population. Shall we start with the population? And when population is very stringent, the population must have the flow, or we can start by SMEs and the population will come, awareness will come after. What do you think?
Thank you very much. So basically, it's the big question which everyone is trying to answer. It's like the question of how can we solve climate change? And it has a lot of dilemmas, but you just say yes. For me, there are two approaches, I think. The first one is try to break the wheel. What I mean is that we talk directly to people who have startups now, and we try to convince them that actually you cannot see the benefit of being on the short term, but there is evidence that you will be performing better on the long term. That's the hard way of doing it. The easiest way, the easy, is actually targeting youth. People who are not having, who don't have startups now, but maybe we will have startups. Most probably we will have startups in the future. So we target them with informal training. It's like there are some sponsors which I'm involved in. We try, even though we don't have a great project, we try to convince them and show them why being sustainable is good. Because when you don't have money, when you don't have a great project, you can listen to an idea with an open mind. But when you have a long-term vision for the future, it's not losing hope on people now, but just it's the easiest way, the most promising way. Right?
Thank you very much, Mr. Ashraf. If there is no question else, we move to the last part of this event, is the roundtable, which will be moderated by Mr. Ashraf.
Thank you very much. We will stay in the same context in this rich discussion, and I would like to invite to join me Ms. Leila Mandi, responsible of the project frame, Professor Brahim Hamoud, responsible of the project Eco Mata, also Professor Nabila Bazani, responsible of the project EcoSC. Professor Brahim Udra, responsible of project Toxic Drug, and Professor Faisal Aziz, responsible of project Sisiga, and Professor Samad Hajaj, responsible of the startup Council. Thank you very much for joining us. In this rich discussion, I would like to ask you, as active researchers in R&D projects, to kindly introduce yourselves. Also, a little bit enlighten us about your target groups of project. What is your project, and what are maybe the goals and the partner you are working with? And here, maybe I would like to start with Professor Leila Mandi.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ashraf. As a coordinator, local coordinator of the FRAME project, the FRAME project consists of EU project, but with shared cost. It means that each country fund the partner. So the project is as it was presented by one of our PhD students this morning at Paris, is the development of the frame condition for the establishment of an innovative water technology which couple anaerobic wastewater treatment and biomass production in the bioreactor in Mediterranean region. The project involves the partner, the main coordinator is from Germany, which is a company is a company, it's not a university from Germany. And we have also partners from Tunisia and from Egypt and Morocco that are the partner of this project. And the idea behind is to implement this photobioreactor in the 3 countries and compare within each climate what will be how the system could be adapted to the condition of each country. And in this way, our partner from Germany donate flat photobioreactor to each country. Tunisia, Egypt, Morocco. Of course, this donation was have another value for us. Having introducing such technology in Morocco for the first time, because there is no flat photobioreactor in Morocco is a pilot, as it was shown by Attack this morning. It is a pilot plan that we start to test under Moroccan climatic condition. And the idea behind is to capture tertiary wastewater treatment, make also cultivate biomass, microalgae, to that have another value. And we should select which kind of algae can use in such systems. That is the main idea, and this should be done in different countries. Here, even in China, because they have this last year, they have the building, and they use all the facade of this building. They put all this flat photobioreactor, and of course they don't have the same climate. In Europe, we have more sun and we have more favorable conditions than in that is the idea behind this project.
Thank you very much, Professor. I would like to move to Professor Ibrahim Hamid. Could you please enlighten us about what is the project, what are your goals and values, and are there any interesting partners we can know how you work with as well?
Thank you. I'm Ibrahim Hamid from the Faculty of Science and Technology. I'm leading the project, the R&D project called EcoMACAF at CNRI. This project is about environment-friendly construction materials based on biomaterials or recycled waste. The objective of this project is to develop construction material, exactly bricks, that are made from natural materials, which are in our case the earth. This is the earth-based bricks, which is stabilized with innovative technologies and integrate treated agrofibers or industrial wastes to make them lighter and to lower their thermal conductivity, and also to have material construction material with high tolerance inertia that suits these projects are, of course, at the university. machinery is the lead institution of this project, FST, for Faculty of Science Techniques, my colleague Hassan Shawani, and FSM, Faculty of Science Similaria, with my colleague Hassan Sofi, and the Green Energy Park in Niger, which is a joint venture between ECP and Ericsson. Another partner is the CETECO, the Center for Construction Materials, which is a technical, it's a private center located in Casablanca, which is specialized in construction materials. It's a technical center specialized in construction materials. And we have an industrial partner, which is BBC. It's a company that manufactures bricks. At the moment, the company manufactures fired bricks. And the objective is to shift to unfired bricks. To make this, the material that is developed in this project, to make it sustainable. Without using a lot of energy to the industrial process. And this project is funded by Ericsson, Institut de Recherche en Énergie Solaire et Énergie Nouvelle, in the frame of the Green Inno Project 2018. That's it.
Thank you very much, Professor. In the same context, I would like to ask Professor Lamina Razeli to also introduce us the project was and the partners involved and what's the target group for this goals.
Okay, thank you very much. For me, I will present to you the recent financed project called Secure Food 2015. And it's financed in the context of the Eramet co-fund project on food system and climate. It's a special call of Eramet met about, and my project is the third project financed this year in the University Capital. Challenges related to large demographic explosion, and in 2015 the world population will exceed 9 billion people, and agriculture is affected by climate change and the reduction of natural resources, in particular fresh water and fertile soil, will affect this agricultural production, and we will have significant changes in plant growth. As the rainfall decrease in the Mediterranean region specifically, and this can have caused a sharp reduction of the food system. And for that, we have this project that titled Improving Resilience and Food Security in 2015 Climate through Soilless Agricultural Techniques and Irrigation with Wastewater properly treated by innovative technologies to ensure food safety. And the project aims at contributing to the mitigation of the impact of climate change by using innovative technologies for treatment of wastewater and innovative technologies for agriculture, to overcome the dependence on water and fertile soil. And for that, in this project, we want to see the possibility to replace fresh water by treated wastewater to irrigate cultures, and to use wastewater treatment with new concepts, for example, by constructed wetland, artificially aerated, and with integration of biochar in the substrate. It can enhance the efficiency of the treatment system. And also, we want to use biochar in both treatment, but also as amendment in the soil to enhance the organics and the nutrients and the retention of water in the soil used in agriculture. We will do agronomic tests under actual climate conditions, and also we will simulate the worst scenario of 2015 climate conditions. 50. And also to test aeroponic cultures. It means that aeroponic cultures without soil. And the main objective is to see how to overcome the need of fresh water, and how to enhance the need of agriculture and fertile soil, all the things. And also the experiments are designed to take into account the spatial scales, because we are a lot of partners around the Mediterranean, and also the time scale to compare actual and the future, the behavior of agriculture in the future. The consortium of this project is composed of several countries. We have the global coordinator is from University of Florence, and we have also another university from Italy, Torino, and we have also the University of Gaya in Algeria, and we have the University of Liège, Belgium, and we have also the National Research Center of Cairo, Egypt, and the University of Bahia. And all these partners, all these partners, as you see, are around the Mediterranean and suffer from climate change and water scarcity, most of them. And also as partners, we have, in addition to these universities partners, we have some private construction of greenhouses and with specific controlled conditions, CO2 and temperature inside, etc. And we have also some end users or even Moroccan company, Green Water, which is a startup in the and other companies or association of farmers in Egypt or in Algeria. And as I said that we have different consortium, and the main objective is to see if we can use treated wastewater as irrigated water, and to see the quality, the characterization of wastewater before and after treatment. And this characterization is not only the classical parameters, but also to see even pollutants, some some pollutants, specific pollutants, as we have in the consortium, some partners very specialized in some chemical compounds such pharmaceutical pollutants or others, other micropollutants. And we will did some agronomic tests, and agronomic tests in free air or in greenhouse with controlled parameters, and also aeroponic implementation to see if we can introduce a new kind of agricultural technology and to see the behavior of the plants in the worst condition of 2015, simulate these conditions. And also there will be analysis in the parallel. We have also socio-economic studies and the capacity building and technology transfer for the farmers, for the different countries, and communication and dissemination, etc., as advantages in this project.
Thank you, Professor. And in the same context, I will move on to the next project, which is Toxic Crop, with Professor Brahim Dura. Professor, can you please introduce us the project? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for giving us the possibility to talk about Toxic Crop project. This is a moment for dissemination of information related to this Toxic Crop project. So, Toxic Crop project is an acronym which means toxic crop production, agricultural production. So, what is the origin of toxicity there? Is the toxicity is dealing with the presence of cyanotoxins in irrigation water. That is the issue, that is the big problematic, or the main cause of the toxic crop. So the research teams try to reply to three questions to talk about survey and sanitary risk assessment, and also to propose innovative remediation proposal for cyanotoxin removal from water and protect the environment and protect the health, the public health in general. So the main goals, I say that we cover the gaps of information of concern raised related with the use of raw water water contaminated by cyanotoxins, which are molecules produced by cyanobacteria in water. Microcyanobacteria, for those who didn't know, are we can call them microalgae also. Autotrophic prokaryotic bacteria. So, in the project, we try to give answer about research and innovative activity we will be developed to assess first the risk, mainly for the irrigation water. We are not talking about drinking water, but because it's another side of the problem. So, the second is to develop a low-cost technology that can be used for cyanotoxin removal from water. Most of these technology are used in this project. Maybe we can talk about MSL, multi-soil layers that conducted by the teams of Yamandi in the in a moment I will talk about the consortium and how we are how much we are in the project. In the last objective is to improve the quantification and detection of cyanotoxin in water. That is also is a big problem which arises. We have a lot of problems to show what are the analytic technique, the optimum analytic technique can be used for giving real concentration of cyanotoxin in water first, and in the plant and in the soil. In the complex soil plant water, we have a lot of problems to detect what part of cyanotoxin can be accumulated, certainly in the soil and also in the plant. And the concern health is when we talk about edible plants, consumable plants. That is the big issue and the big problem. The project, the consortium of the project, we are 9 partners from Europe, from Africa, and from America Latina. Also, that's all for the Europe. In the Africa, we are in Morocco, University Kadiyat and Veterinary are the partners. Also, we have Egypt. In America Latin, we have Peru, Cuba, Colombia. we have some of the partners are joining us recently. Denmark, but also in Europe. I think that's all for the presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor. And last but not least, Professor Faisal Aziz about the project of Prima.
Thank you, Dr. Yes, Citica is the revision of smart agriculture to adapt on climate change. It is accepted this year on the famous program ENA with a huge budget of 1.3 million euro, or it's about 14 million dirhams. The main goal of this project is to create a smart farm against all unpredictable climate change and other parameters that never be involved before on farm management, because it is an applied field. The first aspect is develop some algorithms to using some satellite and drones to follow the stage on time of quality of soil and water and plant during the irrigation with the non-conventional wastewater. Wastewater and some British water, some water without suddenly acidified with several groundwater treatment, or sometimes we will try to minimize the fee of osmosis reverse when we use our water without quality, but we try to adopt some species against this loss of immunity. So the consortium is composed of about 9 countries, agricultural research, and 2 companies as the famous or the leader company on water management. We have from Turkey a big platform of molecular biology and
select the spaces that will be adopted in the context of low quality water use irrigation. And we have from Egypt two partners that are experts on remote sensing and technology, artificial intelligence technology now applied for develop new software for agriculture. We have recently Algeria that are case study, and we have Germany an expert on social economic study, and other countries like Italy and like Greece and like France too. So I think that's all about this project. Yeah, because we are in the beginning. But the key access in the project is our role as a Moroccan partner from Hadaya, is the use of the this super absolute framework in this agriculture, this smart farm, as a new way to overcome the salinity, and we combine with remote sensing technology too. This is that give us the innovation of the project. This is the first time we apply both for three technologies in one at a time.
Thank you, Professor. My next question is actually an open question for all our panel. So please, professors, feel free to take the floor at any one of you to start. My question is about one or two major achievements or goals you achieved during this period you have been working on this project. What would that be, and what kind of advice you could extract from that?
Thanks for your very interesting question, because the main dilemma is the achievement of the project. In some cases, we have achievement, but in other cases, there is no achievement, and there is no sustainability too, as you talked about sustainability. Oh, in our project, of course, we face a lot of problems, a lot of delay. Before speak about achievements, it's not easy. The project was accepted for funding, but unfortunately the German partner received his fund, but the Moroccan wait 1 year after to receive the budget, and this delay everything has negative impact in the achievement of goals. So, at that time, we can and finally, we succeed to achieve some goals like having the PDR, starting the research work, not only starting, we are progressing in the research as we have our students, our PhD have made a lot of progress in her research. We have two publications, and we are moving forward, and of course we almost now at 70% of achievement. I can say that's it.
In our case, Humantas started in October 2020, so we are at, let's say, 50% of the mid-term of this project. Just to recall that the objective of this project is to make buildings sustainable in terms of materials, and also in terms of energy. You know that buildings as built nowadays are not sustainable, as they are using not huge resources, and and these resources are not renewable. And also these resources make these buildings not sustainable as they are to be operated. They need a lot of energy to be air conditioned. So the objective of the eco-matter is to use natural resources, earth-based materials, which do not need a lot of energy to be manufactured. And also it can be recycled, and it is natural materials for free, it's available everywhere. And also it is not easy to be transported for long distance. This is the first point. The second point is the material that make the buildings consume less energy to be air conditioned. And the buildings that are made of earth do not need a lot of energy to be thermally comfortable. So what the achievement of this project at the moment are we are at, as I said, by the midterm of the project, we have developed two kinds of bricks. So we are on the way to have two patents for these bricks. The first one is already no, it's not yet deposited. It's on the way. It's on the way. It's already running, and it's on the way. And the second one is coming. And in terms of students, we have two doctoral students, and at the moment four master students. Four master students that are already graduated. And in terms of publication, we have at the moment 5 indexed articles, from which 2 are articles, 2 journal articles already published. Because in this project we target 2 indexed articles per year. So at the end we should have at least 6 indexed articles. And regarding the industrialization of the brick, we are now starting to select the industrial process, and with our partner CTLO, who are dealing with tests with the pre-industrial process, because one of the goals of this project is to transfer the knowledge from the university to the industrial partner, and to let this industrial partner shift from the fired bricks, which are produced nowadays, to unfired bricks, which are going to be produced at the end of the project. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, professors. Any other question? All right. So thank you very much. Sorry.
Just from me, as it's a new project, we start. But I can see that, for example, for starting, we are looking for example, a company which can produce biochar. Biochar is the pyrolysis of waste, and in this project we want to use biochar from sludge from wastewater treatment plants. And we were looking for a company in Morocco that can give us biochar. We didn't find it. We find one small company that produce a small quantity of biochar, and they say that we have a lot of problems to apply or to sell the biochar to agriculture, to farmers. Any farmers, even the big farms, didn't use this biochar, for example, and they are not aware about the benefits of using biochar in agriculture. And we see now that it could be aggressive and to reduce these new aspects in new not technology, but a new approach for to take benefit for agriculture in Morocco, for example. And also that in our university that are expected to work on biochar as a treatment or for agriculture, and we are now discussing how to gather our financial support or our experience to produce biochar inside the university at a high amount, not only grams, but amount of biochar. Like, for example, what we are expected to have also is to introduce or to show that it's possible to go to the aeroponic agriculture, perhaps after the end of the project, and also by using aeroponic agriculture, but by not using nutrition solution, but irrigated by treated wastewater.
Thank you very much, professors. It is indeed.
Sorry, just to experiment about the project related to achievement. I forget to talk about one rising problem dealing with the regulation of guidelines in irrigation water related to concentration of cyanobacteria or cyanotoxins concentration in water. One of the big achievements we have after 3 years of work in the project that we pushed the community, the scientific community, to think about the revision of the guidelines related to irrigation water. We have those for drinking water, yes, but for the irrigation water there is no control. That is the big achievement of our project. Thank you.
Thank you very much, professors. As the program says, it is indeed a debate. We could stay here for 6 hours to hear about project with our mindful PhD candidates and master students the floor to ask their questions about things that are interesting about. Thank you. So,
my name is Bakrim. I am professor at Polydisciplinary Faculty of JDC. I will thank all members of committee organization for this successful day in all levels. And it's not a question, but just an advice based on your experiences. What is the key steps to obtain a project? And my second reflection is about did you have any connection with us to share similar points or similar points of your projects? And thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your comment. Of course, we have a question. through Professor Denis. He make now a connection with you. Of course, we are often to collaborate and to develop common projects and so on. That is our main goal, of course, in our center. Concerning your first question about how we can obtain funded projects, yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's a really very hard task. You should work hard and you should have a very good partner. Because the good partner is very important, because not only we need the application to have to fill the hole, we need also login, we need a lot of things. It's not easy because what happened during the evaluation is not easy. We need excellence and we need contact. We need many things, and so also I think in most of university and public university in our country, we're still missing how to develop. We don't have the staff, qualified staff to help scientists to prepare a bigger project. You know, in abroad, in Europe, according to my small experience in the EU project, they ask enterprise specialize in preparing projects, and they give this enterprise, which is really strong, to prepare the idea to the staff, and they prepare the project, and they are paid. And when the project is obtained funding, they give them 10% of the project. It is, it's very interesting, and we've been with a partner from Germany. He had at that time more than 100 funded projects, big projects. He succeeded in all the projects he applied for it, because this company, what we need, maybe our obtaining funding.
I can add something. I want to add something. In the call for project, there is each course has some particularity. Some courses they are interested by involving industry. Some other they look for stakeholders and or individuals, and other just academicians. And some there is other criteria, for example, like gender. They look for example, a balance between women and female and male. There's a lot of criteria to look for. And some call they ask for a multidisciplinary project in several axes. How you can find in one whole and bring a real output. Some other they are just mobility or exchange or capacity building. It's I guess that the first step is to do a good diagnosis of the call, what they're looking for. Then we think about the idea. The idea is only one thing, but it's not everything.
Thank you. I would like just to add something. We were, all of us, we were at beginners. And after we learn step by steps, I think that for us, in the beginning, we were involved in bilateral projects with French, because we have not a lot of skills in English, and I think that English, to enhance your English is very important. It opened to the international and European projects, and also we can start by looking. Because, for example, some consortium are obliged to have one South partner, and they put in the website of the European Commission we are working on this project, we would like to have a partner, for example. You can start with that in the beginning, and perhaps not to be afraid about the complexity of the project in the scientific part. And after, the Europeans who are used with this type of project can do the rest in the beginning. And after, step by step, if you are involved in a project, even if it doesn't succeed, they know you. And if they want to apply for another project, they can contact you again. Don't be afraid, don't try. Must try. Even if it doesn't succeed, you didn't succeed at the beginning. Yes. And after, because there is a strategy, it's different than the bilateral project or the national project. And there is a political aspect and the socio-economic aspect that we don't know as they are saying, we don't know how to act. And there is also the response of the political EU strategies, but you can start step by step, and at the end, and when it succeeds, the first one succeeds, the consortium can know you are serious, you can reply quickly to the they can.
Just one word, because I think it is very important for young researchers. Maybe I have to speak French or Arabic, it's not to be understood. En fait, les collègues, ils ont parlé des projets européens, ça c'est vrai, ce sont des projets européens, il y a beaucoup de mobilité, et ce n'est pas évident de décrocher un projet. Il faut avoir un bon consortium, il faut que le coordinateur du consortium soit expérimenté et, comme disait Léna, même des agents qui sont spécialisés dans l'écriture. Donc ça c'est un peu, on va dire, compliqué pour un jeune chercheur. Par contre, moi ce que je préconise, c'est de commencer par des projets, comme disait Faisal, de mobilité. Il y a des projets de collaboration avec différents pays, avec l'Espagne, avec la France, par le CNRST, le Centre national de recherche scientifique et technique. Et il faut